Hey everybody, it is Nathan and Blake with another episode of Service Dog Tales. Is a Blakey ball. So one of the most common questions that I get on this channel is where do I start my search in order to find a service dog? And people often ask me this because there are a lot of organizations out there that are scams and try to take care of people in desperation. So this week I'm going to tell a story about a guy that thought that I was a victim of one of those scams. That's right, Blake, you're a con dog. A cog. Should I leave? So I was in an airport, which sucked. I mean, the service dog relief areas are useless. Neither of my service dogs have ever been willing to use them, and they smell horrible. Sorry, I diverge. We are not talking about pee. Anyways, we were at baggage claim waiting for a bag. Not my bag, a friend's bag. The only baggage I had was emotional baggage. And we walked past this guy and he looks down at Blake and he's just scanning her and following her as she's walking across the floor. And my first thought was, oh boy, is this gonna be something to vlog about later? And sure enough, the guy walks up to me and he's like, hey, where'd you get that certification there? Did you pay for it? And at this point, I'm not sure what type of conversation I'm about to have. Like, I don't know if he's trying to be accusatory or educational or what. I got it from the service dog agency that I got her from. Did you pay a bunch of money for it? And at this point, I think I know what he's trying to do. I'm thinking that he probably thinks that I was tricked by some kind of service dog agency into thinking that there is a requirement for a government-issued ID badge for service dogs, which there isn't. So I explained to him, no, it came with her as part of certification through that specific agency for that specific agency. But there isn't any government ID that's required for service dogs, I know that. And I think that probably satisfied him because he was like, oh good, because I knew this lady who was paying $200 a year to this agency that was claiming that she needed that ID in order to legally take her self-trained service dog out in public. Which, to be clear, legally, you don't. Legally, a service dog doesn't actually need an official certification or official papers or even a vest for that matter. Now, most of them do have variations of those things, but this man brings up a good point that I think is important to talk about for our audience. Now, she is certified specifically through an agency because I specifically got her from that agency. Now, there are also agencies that do provide certifications for self-trained service dogs. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the organization is a scam. Sometimes people go through that certification process by the agency in order to simply make sure that their self-trained service dog fulfills a certain set of standards. However, if an organization claims to offer government-issued identification for service dogs, then you should probably be suspicious of them. So the best advice that I would give to people in order to avoid these types of scams is to mainly stick to organizations that have been certified through Assistance Dogs International. I will leave a link to them in the description. Now, one major caveat to this. I am not saying that if you have a service dog that was gotten through an organization that was not certified by Assistance Dogs International, that it is an illegitimate service dog. I am not saying that at all. I am also not saying that any organization that does not have certification through Assistance Dogs International is a bad organization. However, I would say that the standards that are put in place by Assistance Dogs International and the standards of certification that they put in place make it a pretty safe bet that if you do choose an organization that is certified by them, that it's probably going to be a good organization. Just be careful and be aware. Having a service dog is a beautiful experience. So don't let someone take advantage of you. Well, that's today's episode. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like, a share, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Check out some of my other stuff, and I will see you next week.